painting seems the right way to address colonial history because so much of the kind of American myth-making in a visual sense also kind of starts with colonial American and European painting. The Views of North America, which is this wallpaper that was produced by Zubair in 1834, and I kind of use that a little bit as like a starting point. You have this sort of image that brings together kind of like an American pastoral, these sort of like military parades, this idea of sort of like an upwardly mobile class, kind of middle class, kind of like moving around in the space, but then kind of looking at the image, like what else is sort of happening, right? Like what are the other histories that are influencing sort of the mythology of this image. What it led to is looking at the relationship between kind of systems of Caribbean enslavement and resource extraction that were deeply related to sort of the starting of the economic engine in the Northeast and North America, and how to tell that story in a way that feels both intimate, painterly, that's based on historical materials, but that also kind of gives this imagination of kind of being haunted by the past and having to either reconcile with it or not, right? That it is an unsettled kind of past, right? It is unsettling. I looked at sort of mercantile records. I started looking at navigational logs that were sort of creating these routes between different satellite places in the Caribbean to Nova Scotia, to different points on the Northeast, and sort of thinking about the spaces of both water and land and grasses and ecology as also being kind of part of this story, right? And can I also involve sort of ecology in the story that I'm telling? What does it mean to sort of weave back into these stories and to tell them in different ways to make us have to recall and to think about these questions of justice? For me, my Slavery North fellowship has allowed me this time where I'm still like making as in drawing, but I am taking a little bit of a break from the studio to be able to kind of like work in the archive, work with my colleagues, and to think, I think outside of the demands sometimes of studio work, right? And to be able to think in other ways with my colleagues. So I think that my work feels very much right now to address the historical kind of place of Atlantic slavery in our current climate crisis, because I think that that relationship is very prescient, and it's about whether or not we decide to keep on going forward with something that we know isn't working.